Welcome back to our Express Jazz Fest special at Tom Lee Music Hall. Now with workshops and concerts, this is one of the free spots that you can get in on the Jazz Fest action. But you know what? It's not the only one.
The gospel, it comes home, and I'm actually a blues player, but I started with gospel music. And so this kind of brought me back to roots again.
Juno Award-winning blues and gospel musician Kenny Wayne is in his element today, entertaining young and old at St. Andrew Wesley's Church.
It's fantastic. People were just really involved in it. The only thing we didn't see was people getting up, jumping out of the seats and rejoicing.
Vancouver isn't exactly a hotbed for gospel, but this crowd is doing their subdued Vancouver best.
If we were in a nightclub, they'd be up screaming and yelling, but that's okay. It moved them. I can feel people being moved.
In those nightclubs, Kenny is known for his blues. He's even earned the name Kenny Blues Boss Wayne.
Gospel and blues is very similar. They're very much related. My style of playing is pretty much the same, gospel or blues. So my piano playing is going to be the same kind of intensity. It's just the message is different.
So what is that message?
Today it's all about Jesus and the gospel. Tonight it'll be about your woman leaving.
That's the flip side of gospel and blues. I'm Erin Shaw in Vancouver for The Express.
Thank you. This festival is definitely an opportunity to expose yourself to new music, but it's also an opportunity for the artists. Just ask double bassist and Juno nominee Jodi Proznick.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Jodi Proznick credits some high school friends for getting her to pick up the double bass.
There was one in the corner of the band room at school, and all the guys I was playing with said, "Hey, why don't you play the double bass?" And I tried it, and I liked it, and then eventually really learned to fall in love with the sound. It's a very resonant, beautiful instrument.
At 5'4", Jodi's instrument selection might have been considered an odd choice, but she's one of a few women who stand tall behind the double bass, and she says times are changing.
I think at the time I chose it, that was true, but now there's a whole collection of young women who are really making a name for themselves on the double bass. Okay, open. So F is on cue.
Today she's rehearsing with Ian McDougall's Little Big Band to get ready for their performance at this year's Jazz Festival.
It's a collection of some of the greatest musicians in town. I'm very privileged to be invited to do this.
Well, first of all, she's the right type of player you want for an ensemble like this. She's in the Ray Brown School of bass playing, which is time. We want to hear lots of time. We don't hear so much about the other stuff. We want to hear lots of real good time. So that's what she does. She's a very talented person.
She headlines her own band when she's not rehearsing here, called the Jodi Proznick Quartet.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
It's a family affair. Her husband is the pianist. Her life as a female musician is busier than some.
I'm a new mom now. I have a 20-month-old, and it's kind of hard balancing being a mom and being an artist at the same time. So I think that there's a whole collection of us who are now venturing into that world as parents and performers. So that's the new challenge, but it's a good life.
Life around her is changing, but she still finds time to enjoy the music.
I'm really lucky. I've got a chance to play so many different styles of music and with so many different people and configurations. It's like time stands still.
In Vancouver, I'm Melanie Pineda for The Express.
Jodi's quartet will be playing at the Roundhouse on July 4th as part of the Vancouver International Jazz Festival. She's also a music teacher at Capilano University, where she does say she has a few female musicians signed up to play the double bass. And stay with us because we have more on the future and the history of the local jazz scene coming up.
Up next,
performance today.
Dal Richards' living legacy.
Good luck and congratulations. Thank you.
25 years of coastal jazz entertainment. The Express. This is your local voice.
My name is Kim. I'm a new mom. Just before my baby's first birthday, my doctor will tell me I have leukemia. There'll be rounds and rounds of chemo.
What if someone you loved needed blood and it wasn't there?
If there's not enough blood, it may not be the cancer that'll kill me.
Roll up your sleeves and give. To book your appointment, call Canadian Blood Services at 1-888-2-DONATE. Blood, it's in you to give.
Welcome back to The Express at the Tom Lee Music Hall. Today we're celebrating the 25th annual Vancouver International Jazz Festival. And we can't do that without giving a nod to the music and the mission of local legend Dal Richards.
It's been my life for so long, since I was in high school.
Dal Richards' love affair with big band sound began when he was just a teenager.
It's just one progression after another, from bands to bands and engagements to engagements. And there's always work to do and there's always a door to open, so here I am still.
Most musicians can only dream of having a career like Dal's, spanning over 7 decades. And that's why he's passionate about helping the stars of tomorrow.
Hi, Chelsea. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
You warming up for your performance today?
Yeah. Chelsea McBride is the deserving recipient of the $2,000 Dal Richards Scholarship at this year's Vancouver International Jazz Festival.
I try to be affable and really enthusiastic and just put my all in everything I do with regards to performance and stuff like that. I don't know, it's just part of me, but I guess somebody saw that and thought that it was really exciting.
She's as talented as they come. She's not only an instrumentalist, she's a composer and an arranger, has taken theory in school, and writes her own material, arranges it for the band.
The biggest perk of her hard work? Being able to play with her idol.
We're going to play Dream, which is a composition of mine for Jeremy Hepner, an old band teacher. So.
Thank you.
And I've seen him play, and it's so unbelievable. Like, he's been playing longer than half my family has been alive, and now I get to go up there and like play my song with him, and it's going to be so cool.
And she hopes to follow in Dal's famous footsteps.
I kind of look at him and I think when I'm that old, I want to be that awesome because I want to lead a band someday. I want to do what he's doing.
Chelsea will be working towards that goal as she plans to study music at Humber University in the fall.
And I'm sure you join us in wishing her good luck and congratulations. Thank you.
And at 92, Dal doesn't plan on quitting his crowd-pleasing performances anytime soon.
I had an interesting experience with my doctor recently. She said, Dal, don't stop blowing that horn. You may drop dead. So there's an incentive if there ever was one.
I'm Sunny Lenarduzzi in Gastown for The Express.
Dal just doesn't stop. If you go to his website, you can find out more about his latest CD and his book. 25 years of jazz in Vancouver. It's not just with Dal Richards, it's also with this amazing international festival. And here are some highlights of the Vancouver International Jazz Festival that were captured on film.
Looking at the size of the venues and talent at this year's Vancouver International Jazz Festival, it's hard to believe the event had such humble beginnings.
In the mid-'80s, we were a small regional jazz festival featuring musicians from Vancouver, Seattle, Portland essentially. What's happened over the years is we've become a major international festival, bringing musicians in from all over the world.
And festival photographer Chris Cameron has seen them all.
I have the good fortune to be the festival photographer. I've been doing that since day one.
Cameron was there the night jazz greats Wynton Marsalis and Miles Davis had their infamous showdown and put the Vancouver International Jazz Festival on the map.
Wynton decided to just go on stage and jam with Miles, unbeknownst to Miles.
I walked right up to him, put his arm around him and said, "Hey, buddy."
And so there was a little bit of a showdown that happened.
That I won't say Miles' response.
And eventually Miles chastised Wynton.
But Miles gestured to a microphone in a manner of proof you can do it. Marsalis walked over there and started to play and played a big lungful of 20 or 30 seconds. Turned to Miles for acknowledgement, and Miles repeated the same icy cold gesture. And Wynton just deflated.
I was getting calls from New York. What happened out at your jazz festival between Miles and Wynton? Wow, you know, like, give us some details. So it gave our festival instant credibility.
And in case you're wondering, after that infamous showdown between Davis and Marsalis, Miles Davis continued to play non-stop.
And then towards the end of the show, just raised his sunglasses and bore into me with his eyes.
And Cameron managed to take this breathtaking, one-of-a-kind photo. This year, Cameron will once again go to countless concerts to take photos of local and international artists.
If you go to coastaljazz.ca, you can see more photographs and more highlights of the 25-year history. Now, this year's Vancouver International Jazz Festival runs to July 4th, but once the festival stops, the music scene just keeps on going. And here's a look at the local jazz scene with the Williams Moving and Storage Big Summer Spotlight. There's nothing better than Sunday brunch, and why not add a little jazz to it? The Jazz Brunch at New features some of Canada's best emerging jazz vocalists. The South Delta Jazz Festival is an annual week-long event featuring various concerts for the public, plus a 5-day workshop for those interested in learning about or improving their jazz improv skills. O'Joules is pleased to present the very best in local and national jazz music talent every night of the week. Starting at 9 o'clock and playing through to midnight, you're sure to find the right blend of classics and new compositions from the artists themselves. And that's it for today's Express from the Tom Lee Music Hall. I'm Johanna Ward, and on behalf of all of us on the show, thank you so much for watching and supporting our show along with the local music scene. And we're going to leave you with a last look at more from the Vancouver International Jazz Festival, a little music for the soul. I'm gonna let it shine.